Hey everybody! So good to see you. I have missed you all so much. It was so, I was not here last week. I'm so sorry. I had a last minute, I'm moving and my landlord gave us 60 days and she's refurbishing the place. And so I have been looking for a house and all my attention has been going to that. And last week, during the time I was supposed to be here with you, I found the house of my dreams. And it turned out it wasn't the best house, but I skipped Facebook Live to see it. So that's why I missed it. And I know I said I'd make up for it and I didn't, and I'm so sorry. I've just been sick and trying to keep it all together. So I decided to just do some self-care. Oh my gosh. Hey, Kimberly and Leah. So good to see you guys. So yes, so I took last week off for self-care and I hope you all are doing the same thing too. Even if you commit to things, it's okay to sometimes break your promise. So welcome back, Declare You Declare. I'm so excited to be with you guys. So remember, we're continuing, and now we're doing like this saga topic of like, you know, how eating healthy and exercise is only 50% of the equation for weight loss, and you know, why how you eat is more important than what you eat. So this is almost over. It won't be like this forever, but this is just like a saga of good tools to, you know, help you lose weight and feel better and have great digestive health. So tonight we're going to be talking about how honoring your hunger and fullness as a practice can really serve you, and that you can really do it anywhere. And, you know, when you're out with your friends at restaurants. And what we want to learn how to do is develop this kind of internal, that red lipstick. Thank you. Leah says that red lipstick though. You look dreamy. Kimberly says yes, yes, yes. I've learned that it's funny. I learned that when I wear red lipstick, I get more views. It's really funny. So I decided to go with it and I like it. So yeah, so today we're talking about developing the internal hunger scale and relearning how to honor your hunger and fullness. And truthfully, almost all of us have to relearn that. It's kind of crazy. It's like, well, I know when I'm full and hungry. You'd be surprised how many people I coach, they actually are disconnected from their hunger and they actually don't know if they're hungry or not. It's insane. Remember last week we talked about appetite, how most of us are disconnected from our appetite, like our appetite as a woman, and how we're trained that our appetites are wrong, and how reconnecting with that appetite reconnects you with your life. So yeah, and so we're going to help you today learn how to eat until you're energized instead of just full. We're used to eating until we're full, but we want to eat only to the maximum level of energy. So hi everyone, this is so great. So again, I've had so many people, clients come to me and they're frustrated, they're confused because they're eating healthy and they're taking care of themselves, they're exercising, but they still, hey Tavia, have the problems of, you know, holding on to weight. You know, have you ever met someone who eats like really healthy and they exercise every day, but they're still like holding on to the weight? So this is because we talked about stress causes the body to hold on to the weight is a major factor of why we can't, you know, lose those last 15 pounds no matter how healthy we eat and exercise, and that the secret to losing weight is to relax. And then I shared the first of the 7 of powerful practices to turn off the stress response and turn on relaxation. Hey Tavia, I miss you too, love. Oh, and Kimberly says because angels wear red lipstick, duh. So we learned in the past the 20-minute meal, the emotional brain training, putting your fork down between bites and breathing between bites and slowly, you know, chewing slowly and eating with all your senses and embracing the power of your appetite in many different ways. So like all these secret 7 tools, it's going to help you turn off the stress response and turn off relaxation, which will help you lose weight and all these things. They work together. So they sound really simple, but they aren't always easy. So yeah, so if you're joining now, leave a comment. I love that you guys are commenting. So the hunger scale is about learning how to figure it all out by measuring if you're hungry or full or somewhere in between. So let's just understand, and I learned this from my fabulous health coaching school, as Tavia knows, this hunger scale. When it comes to hunger and fullness, what is the difference between the sensation and the feeling? So it sounds like such a basic question, but what does being physically hungry feel like? I mean, we have been so disconnected from our bodies. If we've been depriving ourselves, we've been dieting, if we've been following a lot of rules about food, it's really possible that we don't even know what it's like, you know, to be physically hungry. So we want to look at, all right, well, what does emotionally hungry feel like? When we're physically hungry, it's kind of like a really quiet, whispering, tiny growl kind of deep inside. And sometimes we ignore that and we just kind of get on with, what we're doing, and then until we're much hungrier. And so what I want to do is go over the difference between the feelings and the sensations. So when you're learning how to listen to your body, what we're trying to determine is what is an emotional hunger and what is a feeling. What is a physical hunger? Which is a sensation. So feelings are felt, in the chest, in the heart, but sensations are felt in the stomach, in the back. So feelings are really about, stress, somewhere in the big 5 areas of our lives, maybe like health, money, relationship, career. So, hey, Melanie. So, we might have stress in like those areas of our lives, but the sensation is really just like a lack of fuel, like we're hungry. So the feeling is where we really need that self-love, but the sensation is where we need the nourishment. So a feeling might be heavy or dull when we have that emotional hunger, but when we have a physical hunger, we might actually, feel kind of hungry, kind of light. When we have that emotional hunger, or the feelings, we're kind of using food to stop anger or to comfort ourselves when we're lonely. So sometimes we eat food when we're, not hungry, to bond with friends, or, we eat when we're bored. But, physically, when we're, physically hungry, maybe the stomach, makes noises, maybe your mouth starts to salivate a little bit. Someone just texted me. Maybe your body's a little weak. So that's just, that's the important thing for you by listening to that physical hunger signal to determine, how hungry or full you are. And with the practice, you'll be able to pinpoint where your body is at in any given moment. And the idea is that to be able to identify where on this hunger scale you are at any given time. So I was going to print out the scale. My printer is not working, so I will give you an imaginative scale. So the goal is to not eat above 80% full. Most of us eat to 100% and we're like stuffed. So we want to eat until satisfied, not stuffed. So you can like see on this imaginary scale, it goes all the way down to 100, like negative 100, and that's starving. And then there's minus 80% hungry, and that's weak. And then there's 60% where you're kind of like headed and growly, and we don't really want to get hungrier than 60%. Yeah, Leah, hey Tia. Leah says, I end up waiting to eat far too long until I hurt. And then I overeat on junk food. Yep. Right? Who here has ever been so hungry, like they don't listen to their hunger pains and they're like at like a level minus 80% or even a minus 100 and you are ready to like eat a sneaker with like maple syrup on it. Like who here has ever done that? Maybe not like a sneaker, but who's just like eaten anything in plain sight and you wait until you're starving and then you eat like a candy bar. So I've done that. So there's minus 60% where you're kind of lightheaded and like growly, doesn't feel good. And we really don't want to get hungrier than that. So minus 60 is where you want to keep yourself in that range, minus 60 to 80% full. So that's the really like ideal range. And that way you're not getting too hungry or too full. And then there's feeling, yeah, good, Tia. I've been doing the same thing, Leah. Yeah. We do that a lot. We don't listen to ourselves. And by the time it's too late, we're just like, sugar. When really, if you start to listen to your hunger pains at the very beginning, the growls, you can start preparing. So, yeah. So when you're eating 20 to 40%, you're starting to feel energized. And then at 60%, you're satisfied. And then 80%, you're really satisfied. You're satiated and you're happy. But, you can sometimes tip over that scale in a couple more bites, like, oh, I'm full, I'm stuffed. That point where it's like, you're actually satisfied and you're nourished, but if you eat a few bites more, you'll feel uncomfortable. So it's a really handy and useful tool to imagine this hunger scale in your mind, like, where am I? A lot of people, myself included, it's like we weren't really taught to really listen. We're taught to often like, just eat what's in front of you and like, don't actually listen to your, finish what's on your plate. And that actually doesn't teach us to listen to our scale. Yeah, really powerful. So it's important to practice, listening. Yeah, so it's really also useful when you combine this with the 20-minute meal. If you remember the 20-minute meal, because in the 20-minute meal, you really, had the time to pay attention to your levels of hunger and fullness. Because you take your time, 20 minutes to eat a meal, and you time yourself. And you can even do this to practice, you know, on the hunger scale when you're out with friends at a restaurant. And the thing that is nice about this is that nobody's going to know that you're doing it. And, you know, no one's going to pay attention to it. One of the challenges for you is kind of, especially like if you're younger, a lot of my clients who are younger, like they go out all the time, they say, you know, like, I don't want to stop having fun with my friends. And of course, like, you don't have to. You know, it's just a matter of, you know, being able to be present during a meal. And one of the ways that you can do that when you're out is to play the slowest eater game with yourself. So basically, nobody knows that you're playing this game. And you're just trying to be a winner, and you're essentially trying to be the person at the table whose plate is finished last. So when you're out eating, you're playing this game, you're just periodically checking in with yourself, you know, throughout the meal, and honoring when you've hit that kind of energized level, like, okay, yeah, that kind of satiated level at 80% full, by, like, you know, completing the meal. And then you put a little napkin over the plate and, you know, just like scoot it away. And it's like really an easy and fun to do. Just like, how slow can you eat? You know, it can be the slowest eater at the table. And this hunger scale, we're moving through it really quickly, but it's really profound for my clients. And for, you know, my health coaching school, it's taught so many people this hunger scale, because most of the time, even ourselves, we get really busy. It's so easy to disconnect from our bodies and lose all connection to the signals of hunger and fullness. And then, you know, we don't honor them. You know, who here has not honored their hunger and fullness even the last week? I've had my moments where it's like, you know, you're eating something and it tastes so good. You just want a few more bites, and then, oh, you have a stomach ache, but it feels so good. Like, who's done that? Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, everyone's like me. Yeah, and Leah says, it takes 20 minutes for our brains and our tummies to tell us that we're full. Yep. It's true. That's why we need that 20-minute meal. We often rush. And Tia says, yeah, I did that tonight at dinner. Just a few bites. Yep. Just a few bites. Oops. A few bites too many. It's so hard to know when to stop. Yep. Hey. Hi, Diane. And Kimberly says, there have been so many times too where I feel like I've confused anxiety for hunger. Yeah, me too. Elevated that heart rate and that discomfort can be a huge clue. Definitely no on the hunger scale. Yeah. Yeah, and everyone's like, hey, Nick. Yep. So great. So listening to our bodies for that internal hunger scale. So wonderful, wonderful. So the sixth secret 7 tool is to eat until we're satisfied and not full, until we're energized and not like really full. Talking about how to use the hunger scale to really get to know your physical sensations of hunger. So you can determine when you are 80% full. So the final secret 7 tool to decrease stress and to get into relaxation mode, which will help you lose weight and your digestion to get back into balance and your energy will increase, is to be bad. So BAD, B-A-D, is an acronym. It stands for break free from your routine, act naughty, and do some crazy fun stuff. So isn't that great? So when you're self-sabotaging, who here is like self-sabotage? It's like, you know, maybe it's like, you know, you're self-sabotaging and you're eating stuff and I'm so stupid, or, you know, whatever. We self-sabotage. We all do it. And it's just, you know, because it means we go to it just to do something naughty a lot of the time. So one of my coaches likes to call this the rebellious inner child syndrome. And it's kind of a way of rebelling against the outside authority. I do that a lot. So like, you know, sometimes we just want to be bad. And the truth is most people don't like being told what to do. I mean, I hate it. Like, is there anything worse than being preached at and being told what to do? Who hates that? So we have our own mechanisms in place to rebel. And we want to make sure that, okay, we want to rebel. So we want to make sure that you're getting your daily rebellion out of your system so that it's not going onto your lips and you're not eating stuff you're going to regret later. And I'm all for 80-20 diet of like, you know, eating whatever you want 20% of the time. But we kind of want to do it the right way because that food will never satisfy those inner rebellions. So some of these mechanisms that we have might be outdated. They might be dysfunctional or self-destructive. You know, maybe we eat stuff or maybe we do things to ourselves that aren't good for us just because we want to rebel. So as a health-conscious adult, we might want to kind of revise our strategy while still having the experience of being naughty. Yeah, Leah says, uh-oh, hee hee. Watch out, she's breaking free, acting naughty. Hey, Cree. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Tia says, when I was a kid, I always wondered that game. I had to get extra time at lunch because I took so long to eat. Yep, taking slow to eat is a good thing. So, yeah, so like, you know, one time, like I've had my fair share of binging and eating, and I figured that I learned that I was doing that because I was craving to be bad. And so I learned, you know, you can wear something ridiculous the next day, put on heels, maybe leopard print corset or something, and wear lipstick, you know, crazy necklace, and just something, you know, I felt so delightful and almost naughty. It doesn't have to be sexual, but just like kind of ridiculous. And I felt kind of bad, and it felt good. And I didn't have any like extra, I didn't have to stuff. I used to eat tons of vegan ice cream and stuff myself on it, and it was vegan, so I thought it was fine. But I didn't need to do that day. I just needed to be bad. I needed to rebel. So, you know, I couldn't get out of, you know, my obligations, so I had to find another fun way to do it. So we want to create something for you, me and my cats. Oh, they're not even here. I want to create this little menu thing called the Be Naughty menu. I normally would have it printed, but my printer's not working, but you can always stop this video and write it down. This really is about nourishing your rebellious inner child. And it's a list of things, like naughty things to do, that you can just be bad and break free of your routine and do crazy fun stuff and just have fun. So you don't need to have all that other stuff that's not serving you. You're actually already just giving yourself that bad nourishment. So sometimes it's not easy to come up with these ideas. So here's some ideas I got from my school. So one of them is to cut the do not remove tag from your mattress. Some of them is, well, this one's kind of dirty, but you can make love outside. You can give your kid a mohawk without telling your spouse. You can play hooky from everything, like your phone, your work, your email, making the bed. You can draw a mustache on a poster. You can go to movies an hour early and sneak into the other movies to watch the end of the other movies. Who here has done any of this stuff? Because I really like it. Yeah. Leah says it's so hard to not be naughty and not eat sugar. All the sugar. Yep, I understand. Tia says sugar and potato chips are my weaknesses and carbs. Hey, Jason. Yes, Cree says it feels so good to be bad. Yep. It does. That's why we're going to do all this other stuff. So who here likes to sneak into movies? I mean, I haven't done that since I was a little kid with my dad, but I kind of want to do that more because lately I've been being too good. And see, that's going to slip out into other areas of my life where I try and be bad and it just won't serve me. So I might as well be bad and have fun with it and nourish myself with that. So wear a short skirt with no panties. I kind of want to do that. Go through the express line at the grocery store with more than 10 items. Kind of funny. These are kind of innocent, but still. You can offer a friend a vanilla ice cream cone. I love this one. And then give them a scoop of mashed potatoes on a cone. I want to do that to one of you. Yep, this is pretty fun. This is something I would totally do to someone. Another one is make up a personality and introduce yourself without breaking character. So, you know, we can do that in theater school. You know, I went to theater, and I know that Cree did that too. You went to school for theater. Try washing something that says dry clean only, but you got to be careful because, you know, you can get yourself into trouble with that and ruin your clothes. Or you can prank call your mom, and she'll never see the caller ID if you do *67. So fabulous, you guys. And if you guys have any questions throughout here, just let me know. I'm having so much fun with you. Who here, so if you've heard something from this list, from a bunch of the Be Naughty menu list, who here is going to do something from this menu? Or who here has an idea of their own Be Naughty menu of what they want to do this week to be naughty so that it doesn't come out in other undesirable ways? Like, give yourself that naughtiness anyway. So write down your ideas in the chat. I'd love to hear it. I think this week I might scare someone because I like scaring people. So let's recap. You learned why how you eat can be more important and impactful than what you eat in this lesson. So how you eat is just as important as, like, you know, you could eat all the healthy stuff in the world, but if you don't listen to the how of it. Like if you're eating really fast, or if you're stressing, you're in that stress response, you're gonna hold on to that weight and you're not gonna get the nutrients. So you learned all the secret 7 tools. It's gonna help you resolve your digestive issues and lose weight naturally and gain energy and increase nutrient absorption and feel lightness and so much more. And yeah, and so throughout, you know, our weekly Facebook Lives, this is the very end of this saga. So I often will just have regular Facebook Lives from now on. There'll probably be one subject at a time, you know, like, you know, how to make more money, or, you know, whatever I choose. And please let me know your ideas in the chat. Is there something you want me to talk about, like confidence or vulnerability, or, you know, self-love or sex, or just anything, because it's all related. You know, career, the big 5 areas of our life, the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. So you may say, oh, I don't know if this relates. It does relate. Whatever you want to talk about will relate to it. So give me some ideas, put it in the chat, or message me later. I would love some ideas on what you guys would love to in our little powwow that we do every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard. So thank you so much, everyone, for such an amazing session. Leah says, I actually wear red lipstick when I want to be naughty. I know, me too. Maybe this is why I wear my red lipstick today. Cree says, scandalous. Yep. Cree, wait, what did you and I do? I'm like thinking of all the things we could have done. Remember, someone scared us one time. Leah says, I have one. Her name is Venus. Wait. Tia says, I have such a hard time being naughty. I'm too good for my own good, right? I have a good girl image that I'm working on breaking, because that's not me. I've just learned how to do it. I'm just as bad. And when I feed my inner beast, my badness, I'm actually a really nicer person. It's funny. Yeah, Leah says to Tia, same. Yep. Oh, Kimberly says, you are a powerhouse. Tuesdays at 7:30 is my new favorite time. Oh. Yep. Tia and Leah are saying it's like you get all pent up and you just shove food on top of the feelings. Yep. Yep. Exactly. I love all this, you guys. I'm so glad you guys we're all talking. I love this. So yes, pour some sugar on love. And again, remember, we can have sugar and all those things, but often when we're imbalanced and we have too much sugar, or we're just giving ourselves too much, it's often because we're imbalanced in another part of our life. So we can still have sugar, but we want to listen to the other areas of our life that actually need the nourishment. Often when we're craving something, we're actually craving something even deeper, and sugar won't satisfy that. We have to satisfy the thing that runs deepest, which we'll go through in these weekly sessions. Jason says, can you describe what you mean when you say internal hunger scale? Yes. So Jason, yay, you joined, I think right after I was finished talking with this. You can look, hey Adam, you can look after, but what I was talking about is most people, myself included, we're not taught to listen to ourselves, to our bodies, you know, when we're full. I know it sounds easy, like, well, I know where I'm full. I've coached so many people, and they actually, hey James, don't even know that they're full, or when they're hungry. It's crazy. It's like they actually are listening to the emotional hunger. And a lot of us respond to emotional hunger, where it's maybe a sad feeling. We're trying to shove down the feelings of anger, or that, you know, maybe we just saw a photo of our ex or whatever, and that's the hunger we feel, but that's a different kind of hunger. It's not the physical hunger. And this may sound really simple, but it's pretty profound to create an internal hunger scale of, and I wish I had printed it. My printer's broken. James says we are very good at being bad. Yes, you are. Internal hunger scale is minus 80% is like where you're just on fumes. Minus 100 is where you're just ready to like be a cannibal and eat someone. Minus 80% is like you're on fumes and you can't function. Like minus 60% is you're just not, you know, it's not as bad, but you're just feeling just empty. And so it goes up and up until you're at, you know, until you're at neutral. And then you get, the second that you get like those little tiny hunger pains like, oh, I'm starting to feel like that growl, that rumble, is when we should start to prepare food. So a lot of us, we hear the growl and we don't even prepare the food until it's too late, but we start preparing the food when we're at a -100, and then that's when we just reach for a Snickers bar. But if we start to prepare food right when we hear those hunger pangs, we can eat something nourishing and make something ahead of time. That's why food prep is really good, preparing food even a day in advance so it's already in your fridge. So you want to eat until you are at a level 80. So that those were all the minuses. Then you go to the 0, which is neutral, and then you go 20, 40, and then 80% is when you are satisfied and you are energized but not full. Most of us were used to eating at the top of the scale to 100% stuffed, and we're taught that that's like good, like, oh, are you stuffed? But instead, you want to eat where you are at 80%. So you're comfortably full. You could still have a little room, but you're not stuffed. You're eating until you're energized, instead of, you know, like when you're at, you know, at a Chinese restaurant, you're picking at a meal and just a few more with your friends, and it's just so good. It just tastes so good. Your stomach doesn't want to, but your taste buds want that. That's eating to 100. So you want to learn to do that. Does that make sense? Tia says, too often when you use food to quell the feelings, you just end up feeling bad. Right, right. And are you bad? Maybe you are being bad, haha. But see, we often, it's like, we know it's bad, so we do it, but it hurts you. So why not do something bad, like, you know, on that list I was talking about, like wear a short skirt with no panties. I mean, I love that one. Yeah, or whatever makes you feel bad. Leah says, I realized when I'm feeling restless, I crave carbs. This is great. I've never heard this. Yep. So often we're hungry, but it's a different hunger. Remember last week, you can look at the video, we talked about it's appetite, and how people, especially women though, are made wrong for having an appetite and craving. It could be an appetite for food. It could be for sex. It could be for anything, like, oh, I want money, but not like in an evil way, just like, I want abundance and I want this and I want a car. We're taught that that's bad. Like, we should be content with nothing. Appetites are good. They teach you who you are. So listening to those, but that's an emotional craving. So when you hear this hunger pain, is it a physical? Are you actually feeling, I know you know where my belly is, but are you actually physically hungry, or is it emotional? And that's actually very profound for most people, including myself. So I'm working on that. Jason says, this is fascinating. Thank you. I will take your advice. I have to be more balanced with my eating habits. You're right in that there's a lot of emotion throughout the day when eating or not eating. Right. And that's why I love, thank you, Jason. And that's why I love the concept of eating 80% healthy and 20% indulgent. So, you know, eat really well, lots of greens, magic plate, and we'll talk about magic plate later on. Basically, the premise of magic plate is you have a plate, and a third of it is protein, a third is, you know, it's full of protein, fat, fiber. And if your plate is full of protein, fat, and fiber at every meal, this will curb your sugar cravings and basically just like lead to sustained energy. It's amazing. So yeah, fabulous. So we'll get into more of all that later, but this is just one aspect. So one last thing as we're signing off, if anyone wants to share something you're going to be doing this week of how they're going to celebrate being bad, it could, or you could just say that you found something. You don't have to say it. Let me know. I think this week I'm going to, yeah, I said I was going to scare someone. I think I will. I'm going to Joshua Tree with my mom and sister for my birthday, because I'm turning 30 in a few days on Friday. So I think I might scare my sister. She's probably not watching this, so she won't know. And that will satisfy me. Tia says, I think loneliness is a big one for me when I eat through it. Right? I think loneliness is a big thing for a lot of us, including myself. So it's just to get to know those triggers. I'm going to be naughty and not tell, Leah says. I love that. I love it. All right, my loves. Let me know in the chat as we're about to sign off. But thank you so much for today. Let me know what was your biggest aha, your biggest insight, your biggest appreciation. I know this was a very long video. Hey, Daniel, right when I'm leaving. So good to see you. You can rewatch the video. It's so good to see you. I will always be here Tuesdays at 7:30. Love being with you guys. I will see you next week, and I'll read all your comments. I can't wait. big hugs. And if you know anyone who would benefit from this, please share. And I will see you soon. And if you are looking for a free 30-minute clarity session with me to see if coaching would be the right thing, just message me and we'll get that set up. All right, bye everyone.